So the brakes are due on the Clio. Today I'm going to be showing you how to change the brakes on a Renault Clio MK3. So the tools I'll be using, I've got an impact gun, or you can just use a standard wrench. I've got a 15mm spanner. I've got a 13mm socket, an 18mm and a 17mm socket. Got a brake caliper press, just some gloves. We've got the brakes themselves, some copper grease, some brake grease, that's metal free. We've got an axle stand and a wheel chock. We're going to need a breaker bar, a torque wrench, just like a little hook to hold the brake caliper up. You'll need some brake cleaner, some thread locker and some wire brushes. Chock the back wheel up and loosen off your wheel bolts. And you can start jacking up the car. You can put the axle stand on the front subframe of the car. Now you can take the wheel off. Makes the job a lot easier. So here's your brake caliper. First we want to take off this brake caliper carrier. There's two 13mm bolts, one here and one down at the back. So we'll spray some penetrating fluid and that'll loosen up the bolts so we can take them off. So with your 13mm socket and your 15mm spanner, those bolts should just loosen up. So the caliper should just wiggle free, and you can just use a bungee cord just to hold it up so it doesn't put any stress on the brake lines. Now you can just pry your old brake pads back. You can even see on this one the backing plate has come off, but you can see how thin those pads were getting. This one's still got life on it, but the other one doesn't. So this is a good opportunity to test your guide pins. This top one you can see hasn't got much movement, but the bottom one seems fine. I'd recommend cleaning and re-greasing both of these. So to do that, you just pull back this rubber boot, take your guide pin out, clean this up and re-grease. I would also clean up these metal brake pad guides. Just use a wire brush and clean the surface of these up. So once you've got your caliper carrier pins cleaned up and the rubber boots, you can use a bit of brake fluid to clean out the residual grease from the carrier. And now you can re-grease the pins and the boots and put them back in. I usually just put most of the grease inside the rubber boot. Now you can put some thread locker on the caliper carrier bolts. And don't forget to put the metal guide rails back in. So now the caliper carrier's all prepped, we can move on to the caliper itself. Make sure that the face of the piston is rust free and is nice and flat. Once that's done, we can take our piston press and start to push that piston back. Okay, that's it pressed all the way in. So now we can install the pads. What I usually do is just add a little bit of copper grease to the guide pins. So before I fit the caliper back on, I usually just put a bit of copper grease. And now I can fit the caliper back on. 13mm socket, 15mm spanner. Always remember to pump the brakes after you've finished. I'll just finish off by cleaning the rotor with some brake fluid.